Hey everybody, Joe here from Avalon Accounting, and today we're talking strategy for small business. So this is episode 2 of our series on how to build $1 million business in Canada. And I'm really excited for today's episode because I love strategy. I love planning because it gives us a chance to really dream about our ideal future and start to action steps into how to get there. So we'll be covering that. I've got 5 points on strategy for you as a small business owner in Canada, and I've also got a couple book recommendations. So all that and nothing else coming right up. All right, so let me start by saying that strategy isn't usually done by small businesses, which is good news for you because it can give you such a big leg up on your competition and help you build a more successful business and life for yourself. So that's really good news there. All right, so I've got 5 points for you here on how to build and maintain a good strategy and how to keep your business moving towards your goals. And I'll cover those right now. Point number 1 is strategy is for small business. I think a lot of people think about strategy being a large business thing, but actually small businesses benefit, I think, more than large businesses on this because our margin for error is so slim. We need ways of knowing when we're off track and how to get back on track towards our goals and our vision for the future. All right, point number 2 is that the best strategies are simple. Let's just get started. So all you have to do is get a friend or a buddy or someone that knows the business fairly well but isn't too involved in the outcome of the business, if you know what I mean, and that you can sit down with this person or a few people and come up with your version 1 of the strategy. And the point is, get this done. It does not have to be perfect. I'll tell you a little bit later on how we improve this strategy over time. But for now, the point is to keep moving forward, get everything down, and I'll let you know what the items are that should be on this document. Point number 3 is that this strategy document is about action. We need to take our big ideas and get it down into something that we can do tomorrow, the next day, next week, get projects in place. So this isn't a document that's going to sit on a shelf somewhere and never to be seen again. This is an action document. What are the actions that we can take next to help our business succeed? Point number 4, I'm going to cover the components of this plan. So the idea around this document is to start big and get small. Start from a big idea and get down to the next actions you can take, which is why it's called the mission to action plan. So just a reminder, as you're moving through these and you're with your buddy, then you do not want to get stuck on anything. You have to move forward. Get the best version 1 that you can. Set some time aside for that particular thing. But if you don't quite get there, that's okay. Move on. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is your mission. So this is what you actually do. What is your mission? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you do for your clients or customers? Your mission is that. Next up is your vision. You want to have a vision statement that inspires and kind of scares you. It can have a number in it, but it doesn't have to. The idea behind this is something like a statement of what you would like to be in the future, maybe in the long-term future, what you want to represent. Who are you as a company, as a business? And a bonus tip here is that if you can tie this into personal goals as well, that's super helpful. So what's your personal mission? And if you can tie the business's vision into that, that's going to be super motivating for you. Next up is your values. So this is the manner in which you're going to accomplish your vision and your mission. So these, you can go search all the values you want. How I came up with our original values was reflecting on what clients and customers saw as valuable for us and what we kind of did, not without trying, I won't say without trying, but kind of came naturally to us. So one thing I noticed when I started Avalon was a lot of the great feedback I was getting from new clients was that I got back to people. I followed through on my promises. And I was kind of doing that naturally, but I realized that that wasn't a common thing in our industry. So I made reliability one of our first values. So that's an example of how you can develop these values. So next up is strategies. I know we're talking strategy and now we're talking strategies, but strategies are the ways that we can accomplish our mission and vision. And I think it works best if with an example. So within Avalon, we have a strategy to attract and retain top quality talent, which will increase our knowledge and time capacity. So the idea behind that is that we work in a knowledge environment. We need staff members that have a lot of accumulated knowledge over time. So attracting really good people and retaining that knowledge is really important to how we deliver on our mission and vision. So that's a really important strategy for us. And we can develop tactics on how to retain people or how to attract people. Tactics are a little bit different. So strategy is the overall thing, and you can work on tactics individually there. But that's something specific to an accounting firm. Your strategy might be different. Another way to think about this, and the way I try to encourage clients to think about this, is what could you overall do to make growing your business easier? And so if we have the same staff, you can see with the example, if we have the same staff for long term, that's going to make growth a lot easier than if we had a lot of staff turnover. So really important strategy for us. So next up is goals. This is where you want to build in the exciting part of this whole program, I think, is that you can think about what the future state is going to be. What numbers are you going to hit? These have to be SMART goals. You want them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. So with the first time-based one, we want our BHAG, which is our big, hairy, audacious goal, which is usually a 10-year goal. And the components of this goal are really that vision setting in a way. You don't want to hold yourself back by thinking, well, I'm not sure how I would do that or how I'm going to accomplish that. The idea is it's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be a bigger vision goal, and you're not really sure how you're going to get there. Then the next step is to break that down. Okay, if we actually did get there, where would we need to be in 3 years? So setting a 3-year goal in a numbers format as well. Would we be on track to get there if we were here in 3 years? Again, you don't really need to know how you're going to achieve that. We'll get to that in a moment, but the idea is to sort of break it down into a closer time frame. Then you want to break that 3-year goal down into a 1 year. Okay, if we were going to be here in 3 years, where would we need to be in 1? And this is really an important step because this is where you can actually vision yourself for the next year. This becomes more attainable. This is really you can see some action steps that you could take in order to achieve this 1-year goal. So I'll say it again, these goals need to have numbers attached to them. You need to be able to see in black and white whether you've achieved them. All right, the next component is projects. So now that you have this 1-year goal, you want to come up with a list of projects that will help you get there. What are the things that you can do that are going to make things easier? Maybe it's creating a process document, hiring a new employee. There can be all manner of different projects, and I'm sure you'll come up with 10s, 20s of these because there's so many that you could be doing. So the idea is to brain dump all these projects that you could work on that are going to make your business better and are going to help you achieve that goal. So once you have that list, you don't want to try to do them all at once. You want to prioritize 2 to 3. What are the most important things that are going to make the other things easier? So 2 to 3 projects that you can accomplish in 3 months or so, 10 to 12 weeks. And the next step in this is to break those projects down into actionable steps for each week. What would this project look like completed with these tasks done? What tasks do I need to do this week, next week, the week after? Schedule that out for the 10 weeks. This is the action part of the plan and is really exciting because that's where the rubber hits the road. That's where you're actually getting some of these things accomplished to make your business better. Which brings me to point number 5. Now we have to work the plan. The idea behind this plan is not that you change it all the time, that it gets readdressed and we think, well, maybe that project wasn't the best. We cannot rethink it after this point. We've set our goals, our priorities, our projects that we're working on, and don't second guess yourself. Just move forward, no excuses. So you got to work this plan. So the plan has to come together in a few ways. And the ways that I like to accomplish these is to make sure there's accountability attached. So how that accountability happens is one, a weekly meeting. You need someone that's going to keep you accountable. That can be within your company. You keep all your staff members coming in and you're reporting maybe to them how you're progressing on this project that you have. Or if it's somebody outside the business, that works well. I've heard of accountability buddies, which is an awesome term and I love to use it. But you can kind of set up a weekly meeting with your team or with accountability person to keep you on track and make sure that if you're falling behind, that someone's going to kind of nudge you in the right direction, remind you how important this project is. Next, you'll have a quarterly meeting. So ideally, you'll have 2 to 3 projects done. That's going to feel really good. You'll still have that large list of projects that could be done, that maybe 20 plus projects that can be done. So you want to open that project list up again, add any new ones that have come in and reset those priorities that are going to bring you closer to that 1-year goal. 1-year goal doesn't change yet. You want to be moving towards it, but these projects are going to morph every 3 months or so. You'll want to get them accomplished, set new ones. Again, 2 to 3 is ideal because any more you're going to be overwhelmed. Next piece on working the plan is having an annual meeting. So ideally it's the same person, or maybe it's your whole team that comes in and plans this annual meeting, but this is where you're going to open up your mission, your vision, your values again. You want to see if they're still resonating. Are they motivating you? And that's the idea, is that this should be motivational. It should be like, yes, we need to achieve these things because it's really important work. And again, if you can tie these things into a personal goal of yours, maybe it's financial independence or something like that, then that's going to be really meaningful for you. You're going to know that you need to move forward on these goals and get this vision in place. But it's the annual meeting where we open this up again and we try to make it a little bit better. How can we say this in a more concise way, or a way that resonates with us better and motivates us to keep moving forward? So this is the time to open that again. You're going to set up a new 1-year goal. You're going to set up your new priorities for the next 3 months and your projects that you're going to be working on. And that's the annual meeting. So you want to kind of open everything up again for that day or half day. All right, so I do have an example of our version 1 on the blog post, which I'll link below so you can see what my first mission to action plan looked like. And it was really long-winded. It wasn't greatly worded, and I just want to encourage you to get started. We've been doing it for 7 years now, and it's gotten better and better, more concise. We're going to open it up again this year. Imagine there's going to be some changes. We want to keep it motivating, keep it moving forward, but it is such an important document to have in your business and doesn't have to take a long time. So I just want to reiterate that. And if you're looking for more inspiration or more things to follow, I've got a couple book recommendations. My first one for beginners, if you're starting with your first plan, is the 1-Hour Plan for Growth by Joe Calhoun. And it's really an important book. It has been an important book for Avalon. Really enjoyed it, and I reread it recently, and there's tons to take from that book. If you're a little bit bigger, have maybe a leadership team, or you could be putting together a leadership team, I highly recommend Traction as well. We've been doing a lot of components of Traction for a long time. We're going to be doing a full implementation this year. Really excited about, and there's tons of good things in here as well. You kind of see where you can take this strategy thing a bit further. Some of the other ones, like Scaling Up, are, I think, for larger businesses, worth a read, but can get a little bit like your whole job can become strategy, which I don't think is attainable for a lot of small business owners. But those are good ones to get started on. And let me know if you have any other book recommendations down in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts on strategy. How are you building strategy into your business? And what did you take out of this video? So love to hear the comments, any questions you have in there. And again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support of this community, and happy to do these videos. Excited to get the next ones out. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.